What's the most underrated skill in a great service business?
So in service or premium service or luxury service business, I would say things around anticipation, empathy, compassion, right? Those things that's like what we try to achieve here is that that a guest, when boarding a car, is feeling so relaxed and so in the here. This is mine, my time, my space, my cocoon, right? And the chauffeur is such a fragile part of that equation.
Yeah.
We need to understand and read the minds of our customers, understanding desires that they might have even before they know. And this is anticipation, right? And then deliver for it. And that is an art. It's very hard to train, but it requires so much empathy, social and emotional intelligence from your compassion to get there.
Welcome to the EU Startups Podcast. Sit back and enjoy the show hosted by Marcin Lewandowski.
Hey everyone, this is Marcin Lewandowski and you're listening to the EU Startups Podcast. From Berlin to Bangkok, he's redefining what it means to ride in style. Today we are joined by Jens Wohltorf, the CEO and co-founder of Blacklane, the premium global chauffeur service operating in over 50 countries. We're talking scaling luxury with soul, reinventing mobility, and building a brand that puts both people and planet in the driver's seat. Buckle up. This is going to be a ride. Jens, welcome on the show.
Thank you very much, Marcin. Thanks for the invitation.
Amazing. Great to have you. So Jens, let's start with the Spark. What moment or experience, made you say, I'm starting a luxury mobility company?
So actually there were two different sparks. One spark for why I founded and the second one, what I founded. To start with the why I even considered to found was that during my career after university, I've went to a few different spots, to a university to an institute for my PhD, then to a consultancy firm for a couple of years. And my co-founder, Frank, also did the same. And at some point we realized you either get like a very caring and nice environment, but you miss some drive and pace and this willingness to move forward, or the other way around. You have like a more aggressive and often cold elbow society where the care part lacks, but the pace is the right one, right? And we were wondering, how long do we need to search for finding the space where actually both are combined? And we were actually dreaming of this situation on a Sunday night where you go to bed with a smile on your face because you're looking so much forward to start the week again and meet your colleagues and do something great together. And since we didn't find it, we wanted to build it. That was even before the idea of what to build was born. And then in 2009, when I was living in Chicago, Frank came over, visited me, and we were talking again. Now is the time to do it, right? We have not found anything. We must build something. So what do we build? And as I was a consultant, it was just a very structured process. We were having a flip chart and were checking a couple of ideas. But then we were actually coming up with my typical consultancy life, right? Traveling all the time, living out of a suitcase, being on 3 continents at the same time, and often enough being stranded in the middle of nowhere, and the last mile always being the problem. And that's why we figured, hey, why don't we pick those few great chauffeur service experiences that you sometimes have, and why don't we try to scale this to a consistent global experience? Yeah, smartphones were just arriving, so what about a chauffeur service at the push of a button, basically?
Nice. I like it. I like the story. Luxury is easy to promise, but it's hard to deliver. How do you actually keep it consistent, across cities, cultures, and continents?
That is indeed the most challenging part, and that's something we would also never going to compromise, even if it means scaling slower or leaving destinations out, because at the end of the day, this is the brand promise that we are here for, and that customers trust. So it all starts with actually how you build the platform, right? It's a very technology-heavy system and business that we have built here, and to try to control as many details automatically as possible, right? Then it's about, at the end of the day, the human touch, right? Like you bring in, you need to be sure to bring in the right people, the people that are working within Blacklane, that they have the right attitude, the service mindset, but especially the face to our customers, which are the chauffeurs we are cooperating with, right? And this is a very intense process to select the right ones, to then start to train them. We have built Blacklane chauffeur academies around the globe in order to get them to this consistent high level. Often companies think, oh, it's just about the car. Yeah. Oh, there is an S-Class coming. Oh, an E-Class or something instead of a Toyota or some. But that's not the case. The car at the end of the day is just a commodity with more or less leg room, right? The maker or breaker is actually the chauffeur behind the steering wheel. And that's why we put so much effort on making sure that it's from, as you said, Berlin to Bangkok, Cape Town, San Francisco is such a diverse world out there. And that's the tricky part.
So it all comes down to the people behind the wheel. Interesting, and makes perfect sense. And I know that, Jens, you're not just building a product; you're building trust globally. How do you do that? Day after day, and I don't know. Are there any like how does this talent or recruitment process work? So you actually ensure that those people are the people you want to have.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's true, right? We are not providing a transportation from A to B, right? That's what a taxi is for. But if you want to have something special, if you want to experience a special service, then Blacklane is the right address, and that's what we have promised. And the thing is, like, this trust is super fragile. We could deliver 50 phenomenal experiences to one person, but then we have a problem and something happens. And
takes one to break it, right?
Yeah, and it's a zero tolerance also clientele we are dealing with, right? Hard. And this needs to be it's ingrained in our DNA. Like, we know this, and that's why we put so much effort into actually not incident management, but incident prevention, right? We always want to be a step ahead. We always want to see, there is now a traffic jam in Barcelona. There is a likelihood of X% that this chauffeur might be a few minutes late. Then let's rebuild the whole schedules. Let's send somebody else. The flight is delayed. Like, so many things are constantly happening that are disrupting our plans, and the entire platform, the entire system, but also the entire Blacklane mindset has been built to prevent those situations. And only then you are deserving and earning the trust, I guess.
Sounds good. It sounds like a hard business actually to be in. And as we said, like, zero tolerance. One mistake and you're kind of like, it takes a lot of effort to kind of gain it back, right? To rebuild the trust. And generally, scaling is hard. Like, scaling quality is even harder. So I was wondering, like, what systems or decisions helped you scale without losing your standards?
It's so without losing the standards or risking the standards. That's actually it would be too nice to agree to, right? I wished we would have always done that.
Have to compromise a bit, right?
As a young startup, right? You have to test yourself. You have to also, you are, especially in early days, you don't know if you are surviving. What's the right path? Where's the right product market fit? So you are experimenting a lot. At some point, there was actually in 2013, there was a moment where we launched 100 cities in 100 days. Because we realized just before that, like, the more cities we offer, the more valuable the product. It's a travel product, right? Not an in-city mobility only product, but a travel product. The more cities you cover, the more valuable it is. People can start from Barcelona, fly over to New York, end-to-end Blacklane service. So that was an interesting and great finding that we haven't had on our radar before. But the consequence to ramp that aggressively was maybe a little too fast, right? And then, of course, systems break. And then, of course, you need to, there is so much regulation out there. There are so many tax VAT numbers we have to have. There is so much going on. Plus, do we find the right chauffeurs with the right attitudes?
Right.
And obviously something breaks then, right? So today I would say probably I would do it again because it was such a steep learning curve. But at some point you realize like we cannot compromise quality by any means. And even if that means we need to switch off a business district, a city, where we have a presence before, but for some reason the service quality dropped, and we need to rebuild it from scratch. We need to put some more work into it. So we stop a city for a while, or we are not launching into these and those markets yet, because when we hit the ground, then again, coming back to your trust question, when we are there and the customer can book a Blacklane, then it must be 100% perfect.
Yeah, 100%. Jens, so you mentioned like launching 100 cities in 100 days, which sounds crazy. You operate in one of the most regulated industries on earth. What's the trick to expanding globally in this space?
Well, yeah, that's indeed like it is super regulated. You have a lot of licensing requirements, a lot of insurance requirements. But at the end of the day, the problem is that not even any country, but even every city in a country has different regulations, and that's something you need to deeply understand if you want to take it seriously, right? And our customers are frequent travelers, a lot of business travelers, corporate customers, and so on. You cannot go into any gray zones, right? Again, zero tolerance, right? Everything we offer needs to be 100% perfect, 100% regulated, insured, licensed, and so on. So again, we need to make sure that we are ahead of the curve and that we are knowing what we are doing. But interestingly, often, if you look at platform businesses, and we are, at the end of the day also are one, although nobody notices because we want to control every experience. But at the end of the day, a platform business in such a regulated space is much more difficult to start than in a different industry. But when you have jumped over those hurdles, when you have mastered it and figured it out, then it's a phenomenal entry hurdle for any competitor coming after that market, right? So it flips around, maybe a little more difficult at the beginning. At the end, it's a great protection and a very, very good niche that you can expand in.
Totally pays off, totally worth it. Jens, we talked off the record a bit about some extreme weather conditions, both in Berlin and in Barcelona. Climate is a tough conversation in travel. What's your approach to sustainability without, compromising the experience?
Yeah. So that's also like part of Blacklane's DNA, and it always has been. As you mentioned in the introduction, we are caring a lot about the people and the planet within Blacklane, outside of Blacklane, every chauffeur, every guest, but also the impact we have on that world. And that's why actually already in 2017, when we were super young and nobody was that concerned about climate change or sustainability or corporate social responsibility programs and all those things, we anyway started to offset all the emission that we created with our rides, and we also didn't do a big marketing thing out of it. We did it silently on our pay. Basically, we paid for it ourselves, not the customers, because we felt it's the right thing to do. Yeah. And fast forward, like we kept on leading the industry into a more sustainable area and era, and better than actually not better than offsetting emissions is even not emitting anything. And that's why at some point we figured, hey, why don't we now really push and also again lead the industry into electric vehicle implementation, and then we started to launch Dubai, for instance, 100% electric.
Amazing.
Only problem was there was no charging infrastructure.
Right,
so
there's no infrastructure.
Great plans, but no chargers. So what do? We had to also build the charging infrastructure in that city for our cars ourselves, and then one city after the other. London, for instance, also highly electrified by now. So we want to keep this up. We want to lead the industry and have pretty aggressive plans there.
Amazing. I also like the point that it's kind of like the whole sustainability thing. It shouldn't be like a main point that you're like pitching or selling. Like it should be advertised. It's just like just a part of the business. It's a part of our core. Like it just comes naturally within we're doing.
It's a necessity, right? Like
Yeah, exactly.
everybody should think about that. Yeah.
Yes. If you're not doing anything about climate change, then
Right.
what are you doing, right? But anyways, I was wondering, like, changing a topic a bit. You're before, like the question before, we were talking about things that were hard at the beginning that but paid off. I was wondering if you have anything else, like one counterintuitive decision you made at Blacklane that paid off.
Many and all the time, and some paid off and some didn't. Probably the best example and one of the hardest memories, also for me, and most emotional ones is the start of the pandemic in 2020 when COVID hit, and being a travel brand operating in over 50 countries and largely being connected to the airline industry because the airport transfer has been our bread and butter in pre-COVID. We were hit dramatically hard. Like we lost 99% of our revenue in 3 weeks. And we were dead, right? Totally done. And then, of course, like the most logical thing is managing cost, ramping down rounds of layoffs, and also like shareholders, investors, and so on. They're also forcing you to do that. But ultimately, we made the decision to not do it, to not let anyone go, but rather say, again, coming back to the care value that I explained earlier, right? Care and excellence and drive. That we push for here at Blacklane, like it was nobody's fault, right? That COVID hit, and I had the feeling, I didn't expect it to last that long, but I had the feeling like if we all move together and every one of our 500 people is carrying a little package on their shoulders together, there wouldn't be a better chance to survive this. And that's what we told them. That's what I explained to the team. Like this, let's get through this together. Either we make it all together, or we are not making it, but also all together, right? Like we try the hardest. And then fast forward, like 2 years later, I wished it would have been shorter because those 2 years were brutal. But then in 22, when the travel surged back and everybody wanted to go on a revenge travel, right? And the books and flights and everything was full. Like we quadrupled our revenue within 1 year, and I was so grateful and happy that I had all the talent and all the experience how to do that. These masses of volumes still so well that they were all there.
Amazing, and amazing that you were in the position to do it, right? And like survive those 2 years. Jens, you've been at this for over a decade, right? What's kept you personally motivated all these years?
Actually, indeed, more than a decade. It's about to be 14 years in a few weeks, and it feels like, I don't know, a year or two, I must say, and that's a very weird feeling and also a bit uncomfortable because, like, you see you are growing older, but it doesn't feel like it, right? Blacklane was a very small idea at the beginning. We wanted to have a very local little thing happening in Berlin and maybe Germany or so, and then look at where we are now: 50 countries, 500 cities. It's all interconnected. And with every year that passes, you'll find new opportunities, and you think, wow, this is a market I have never thought about, and look at that opportunity, and like it's getting bigger and more exciting day by day, and that is so energizing and keeps me on my toes all the time. To always have this feeling it's still day one, and there's so much more opportunity around. There's this road that we can all shape together. And so far, we have just touched the chauffeur service, and not even being in every city of this world, but only in 500, right? And just think beyond the chauffeur service and the whole travel experience and all the stress points in our lives that need to be solved by someone at some point.
Amazing. I love it. Jens, how do you think the mobility space will look different in 5 years? And what role will Blacklane play?
Look, 5 years is sounds long. Is at the end not that long. You'll see more autonomous vehicles coming, a lot more automation coming, probably more seamless connections between different modes of transportation. Hopefully, we'll be much more global than in thousands of cities in every corner of this world. Have also branched out into new verticals that are adjacent to the chauffeur service space. So it will be definitely faster, right? Our lives are all becoming faster and faster. Travel and mobility will get faster. And you need people that are trying to keep that under control and not allow the poor guest, the poor travelers to experience that stressful pace all the time, but actually take that stress away from them.
Yeah. Jens, you know, like I love the answer. This is actually also the time in the podcast where I usually play a little game with my guests. It's I call it rapid fire because I just ask you quick questions, you give me quick answers. Are you up for it?
Absolutely. Shoot it.
Awesome. Let's do it then. Okay, here comes the first one. If you could teleport to one Blacklane location, like we were talking about, future of mobility, so maybe teleportation is one of those. If you could teleport to one Blacklane location for a ride today, where are you going and why?
So first of all, I hope it's not going to be the future of travel, because then we are out of business unless I've invented the teleporter. But no, if I could, I would probably go to Riyadh. That's one of our youngest editions, where we are putting a lot of energy into right now. It's such a vibrant and dynamic surrounding and city. So like when you come back from Riyadh, you always feel so pumped because everything is possible there, and there's such a big premium transportation gap in that market that we are at the forefront to fill. I love to go there, although it's in the middle of summer, so it's quite hot there. But anyway, it's just a great experience every time.
Nice. If you could borrow one treat from any founder or CEO, what would it be?
One treat, I would say, like generally, I admire leaders that can navigate cultures on a global basis, and especially in travel, this is such an important feature to have and skill to master. And even think about our like guests and chauffeur combinations, right? We are having guests from all around the world. They are boarding a car in a given market, and sometimes maybe a chauffeur in Riyadh. One day they have a guest from Tokyo in the car. Next day, one from the US, and all of those are cultural connections and moments where different cultures are coming together and are playing out in a certain way. And it's so complex and so difficult, but at the same time so exciting to master that. And I'm just very interested in that topic.
Sounds awesome. Jens, who's the most brilliant person in your contact list?
That again depends on the topic that I want advice for. But most generally, I would say my eldest son
Nice.
is always bringing a very fresh perspective to my daily problems.
Okay, awesome. How old is he?
16. He's getting 16 now.
Perfect. So just listen to that guy. Like he knows. Like young people know. Like come on, they are the future. If they don't know, then like come on.
It's amazing every time.
Yeah. What's the most underrated skill in a great service business?
So in the service or premium service or luxury service business, I would say things around anticipation, empathy, compassion, right? Those things that like what we try to achieve here is that a guest, when boarding a car, is feeling so relaxed and so in the here. This is mine, my time, my space, my cocoon, right? And the chauffeur is such a fragile part of that equation.
Yeah.
we need to understand and read the minds of our customers, understanding desires that they might have even before they know. And this is anticipation, right? And then deliver for it. And that is an art. It's very hard to train, but it requires so much empathy, social and emotional intelligence from your compassion to get there.
Because sometimes you're not building what people want. Sometimes you're building something people didn't know they wanted, right?
Exactly. And that is luxury for me. And then you enjoy. Yeah, exactly.
So another one piece of common startup wisdom you think is total bullshit.
I would say fake it till you make it. I can't speak for software, SaaS, and so on industries, but when you play in the real world with a real service and a real physical product on the ground in a highly regulated market, customers are trusting their safety and their well-being to you, then you just can't fake it, right? Like it needs to be in place, and you have to have everything under control. So better to prepare everything before, and then just offering a phenomenal service instead of just pretending to.
Yeah, for sure. Especially in your case, it probably wouldn't work well. Whereas there's like zero tolerance, as we were talking. So advice to anyone dreaming of building a global brand but stuck in their hometown garage.
Just get out of the garage and start.
Just
start. Yeah, because like this is where if you would have asked what I would do differently in my past, I should have started earlier. You are always hesitating, and you wonder, and you have your careers and maybe families that you have to take care for, and so on. So you are careful, right? But it's such a great ride. Just get out there and do it.
Amazing. Love it. Jens, last one. I don't know if it's the toughest one, but some people find it tough, some don't. 5 words to describe the rest of your life.
The rest of my life or my life?
The rest of your life, yeah.
Family. Travel.
Yes.
I'm sure also still a lot of Blacklane. Gratefulness.
Yeah. And one more.
And hopefully sleep. More sleep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sleep is important. Because if you want the rest of your life to be long, you got to get some good sleep.
Oh, totally underestimated.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, thank you so much. This is it. I loved it. I had so much fun having this conversation with you. I hope you did so as well. I loved it. I'm sure our audience will love it as well. Thank you, and I'll hope to see you soon in Barcelona. We have to go for the game together, right? And watch Robert before he retires.
Waiting for it. Thank you, Marcin.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.